All right. I know it will not be new news to let you know all the time that I'm very delighted to host this forum, cross-cultural experiences. I'm always, if I may repeat, always delighted to host it. Even more delighted that I have very, fantastic, guests who would have traveled out of their cultural background zone to somewhere new, experience something, and they're willing to share in this program. And more importantly, what did they learn? Because you might find yourself traveling to the same place. All right. Today, I have a young lady who is full of promise and who has also achieved quite remarkably. But I'll let her introduce herself. Her name is Angela. That's all I'm going to say. So, Angie, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank
All
you.
right, then go ahead. Briefly introduce yourself and then we go ahead.
All right. So I'm Angela ANIMA-KORANG. So originally from Ghana and then moved to the US. So I have been here for quite a while.
Okay.
And so it's
That's a
been,
good way to put it.
yes, without naming numbers or its state
No, you
here.
don't need
Yes,
to.
yes. So I've been here for a while and I've lived in different states in the US. So I've lived in Illinois, Missouri, Kentucky, and then now in Texas. And then traveled around a bit more, California and a couple more places, Detroit. So it's been a varied experience within the US, which I'm more than happy to share and talk about.
Right. You know what? You find out that people who come to migrate to the US who
Mhm.
were not born here tend to travel more
Yes.
the US than people who, who are
Yes.
originally,
Yes. Yes.
okay, but all right, go ahead.
That
So
that's
let's
a that's
share those
fact.
experiences. Go
Yes.
ahead.
Yes. So one of the major things, one of the shifting experiences that I had coming from Ghana and then moving here, especially for
Yeah.
school. So I was doing my master's in SIUE in Edwardsville. And
Mhm.
the first thing,
That's Southern Illinois University.
yes, in
Okay.
Edwardsville. Yeah.
Near
So
St. Louis, I suppose.
in Edwardsville, Illinois, close to St. Louis, just about
Oh,
40.
close to St. Louis.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All
So
right.
very close to St. Louis. And one of the first things that it wasn't difficult, but one of the first few things that I started noticing was we had a different way of speaking English. So
Okay. All right.
it was, and it's very subtle. So if you don't necessarily pick up on, it kind of affects a lot of the things that you're doing. So whether you're writing a paper or turning in something, you would always
Yeah.
come back with word marks, and you're thinking, I mean, I speak English. Why is there word marks on my paper? And then you realize, oh, there's British English or Ghanaian version, and then American English. The
Yeah.
pronunciations were different, the spellings were different, the tonations were different. All
Yeah.
of these things were so vastly different that it seemed like I was relearning English whilst here. So one of the things that I found truly fascinating was having to relearn English in the American style or the American way
Style.
of speaking. And
Do you
then,
have,
yeah.
okay, did you get any moments of embarrassment or whatever?
Thankfully, no. So here is how I catered to it.
All
I
right.
went into my chair's office at
Yeah.
that point, and I said, "Okay, here is my textbook. Give me your textbook, and
Okay.
make notes of everything that you need me to know in this class. And I will take
Yeah.
your notebook. I'll give you mine, and that's where we'll start from." So, and again, I came from a different background, and I worked myself into communication, which was really what I wanted to do.
Oh,
So I came
okay.
from computer science, which was much more analytical, to communication, which was more expressive.
All
So
right.
you had to write more, you had to read more, you had to explain more. And that would have been a big challenge if I hadn't taken the step to try to figure out, okay, why am I getting red marks in my paper and what to do about it? So
Let me ask you a question. So
mhm.
when you were coming from Ghana, It
Yes.
never occurred to you that there is something called American English?
No, not at all. There is a test that you take. So one of the you take the GRE and then you take
Yeah.
IELTS, but I didn't get to take it because my education from in Ghana had been in English. So that particular
Okay.
test was waived for me. So
Ah,
yes, and
okay.
then I got here and I said, "Oh, okay." Now I have to relearn the spelling. I think the biggest part of it,
Yeah.
especially being in the communication field, was the spellings and the grammar, because you had
Okay.
to learn AP style, you had to learn APA, and those were completely
Yeah, all
different.
right.
Yeah,
Is there any
the
spelling that just comes to your mind right now?
yes, yes, program.
Okay.
Program, yes. Program
Okay.
is spelled
I'm not putting you to the test. Can you give me the two spellings?
spelling bee on the spot.
Yes.
But yeah, program is spelled
Yeah.
Gramme. But
Yeah.
then here it's just Program. That's it. Very
So
simple.
they chop off the last N and the E.
Yes,
All
yes,
right.
yes. That was chopped off. Any other spelling that you can think of color that has
Yeah.
U in it, the OU that we
Yeah.
have in our grammar was all of it was taken out. So color
Correct.
was taken out. A lot of those little things that stand out, but you don't realize
Yeah.
because the pronunciation might be the same. Yeah, that was a
So I'm really wondering, maybe when you are on your computer typing, the
yeah,
computer will tell you that you made a mistake,
I'll
showing
change
you
it
the right
back.
things. But no, this is right. Why does it say that I made a mistake?
Exactly, exactly. It's either you switch or you add a dictionary in there, or you
Yeah.
say, oh no, it's COLOUR, and then you go ahead with it. But yeah, it took
I
me
guess,
the whole time. Yeah, to
correct. I guess one of the learning, one of the things you learned was that, look, I'm no longer in Ghana. I have to be an American right now. And I
yes,
start spelling the way that,
yes. Oh, it was a changer. And if you were a TA, and I think another learning experience
yeah.
was differentiating between parentheses and
Okay.
brackets.
Oh, okay.
Yes, this was an entire discussion in one of my classes that I was teaching because
Yeah.
I had to pull up online,
Yeah.
show them and say, hey, this is what I mean. And they say,
Yeah.
oh, it's parenthesis. I said, no, it's bracket.
It's
It's
called brackets.
bracket.
I'm sure some of them would have said, no. We only have electrical black brackets.
Yes.
What is this in parentheses? Are you talking about my parents?
It was very, it wasn't as challenging, but it was so subtle that if you
Yeah.
didn't pay attention, yeah, you could overlook certain things, and then it will kind
Um,
of go over to a lot more things. So that was a big shock. Yeah.
okay, let's move from language to, is there
Mhm.
any other experience? Yeah, that will.
Cultural. Very
Okay, go on.
cultural,
Yeah.
yes. And I think this has a very deep meaning for different cultures, coming from a
Okay.
culture that is more not just maternal, but more communal. So it's
Yeah.
much more about community.
Yeah.
Because we have a higher level distinction of respect. So elders versus kids
Okay.
or everybody
Yeah.
else. You don't necessarily call your elders by their first names.
All right. That is correct.
Yes, but you get here and your professors are asking that you call them by their first name.
Yes.
And so they would say, hey, my name is Angela. And I'm thinking, then I'm like, no, you're not. You're professor. And even though again it can be very subtle, it really has impact on the way that you interact with your professors, but then also
Okay.
how your other colleagues, the students that you're with, how they view you, because it might come off as timid in a way.
Yeah.
Yes, if you're always going with Professor this and please
Yeah.
and thank
Yeah. I'm
you.
sir.
Yes, all the things that we've been taught to be
Yeah.
polite, and
Yeah.
respectful to our elders.
All
Yeah.
right. So
Yes.
initially, politeness did not sound like a value to them.
Yes.
It
Yes.
was more being timid.
Exactly, exactly. It was about why are you why is this happening?
Yeah.
But then you forget that we're different cultures and we're all kind of a melting pot of people from different cultures, and depending on where you're from, you
Yeah,
have
right.
different socialization process. And then you
Yeah.
come into a system that is asking you to shed all of that and
And
take
then
what they have. And then you realize
how did you get over it? Or did you actually get over it?
I still call my professors by either sir. So I
Right.
yes. Yeah, but at least to my colleagues who are even older than I am,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm better at it. I can call them by their names, which
By
is
their names.
it gives
Okay.
that camaraderie. Yeah, much
Yes.
more comfortable. But I'm still working on it. I think it would take a bit.
And the
Yeah.
professors will wonder, why is she not calling me my name? Why all this professor this, professor that? Yeah. Did you get any chance to tell them, let them know that it's a cultural thing?
I
So that
did. I
oh,
did.
okay.
Yes. And this was even during my doctoral study. So it was and at that point, one of my professors, Dr. Vinstra, Aaron Vinstra,
Yeah,
I'm not sure if you remember him. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, from
Very,
Coverdale.
yeah,
He said, call me Aaron. And then so at some point I was like, okay, I will
yeah.
call you Aaron, but hey, let me explain why I keep calling you. It's for no reason why I keep calling you Dr. V.
Yeah.
Like a shortcut of your name, but still
Hey,
have
you're right.
that respect to it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's not that I am overly respectful of you, but I do have that socialization that says pay respect where respect is due.
right.
So if you're associating with that, then it kind of comes across. But he understood it, so
He understood.
yeah.
Okay. You
Yeah.
just remind me what happened. I think when I visited we are Beijing.
Mm-hmm.
So I went into my class and the students stood up, all of them. I was like, what's going on? Is there a riot? I forgot that
Mhm.
that was what happened back home. A
Yes,
professor entered the class and all the students will stand up.
exactly.
It's like I forgot. All the students stood up. For one moment, I was saying, okay,
Mhm,
what's going
mhm,
on?
mhm. We forget that's exactly how we were back home. Yes, you greet, you get up, you greet, and then
You greet them and you sit
yes.
down.
Mhm,
All right.
mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Angela. I really appreciate this. And that goes to the heart of this, forum to let people know that there are different ways of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you move across
Yeah.
cultures, then you have to adapt. And you are no
Yes.
longer in Ghana, you are now in the US. Maybe the problem will be when you go back to Ghana and you start calling your old
By their
professors by
first
their
name.
names. They will say, no, what happened to Angela?
Yes,
They're
she's
like,
lost respect.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. you know. All right. Okay, thanks again. And I really appreciate the time.
My
Enjoy the
pleasure.
rest of the day. And
Mhm.
good luck in I describe you as somebody who has promise. Good luck
Thank
in all you do.
thank you, sir. Yeah, my
Okay,
pleasure.
bye.
Thank you for having me too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.